Let's talk about our contact list. The contact list is really important. First of all, you're going to have your friends and family. That's the magical 30% that can make or break your campaign. And no, I'm not kidding. I've worked on numerous campaigns and I've watched campaigns not get that magical 30% because they were too shy or too embarrassed to ask their friends and family to seed their campaign. So they ended up not making their goal. Their campaign stagnated. It never went anywhere. They actually stopped, relaunched, got in their magical 30% on day one, and the last campaign that did that had 300% over their campaign goal. So I cannot stress enough how important this magical 30% is, and who else to get that but your friends and family. So remember, you want to cultivate a list of contacts that are willing to support your campaign on day one. And we're going to talk about this more when we get into campaign management. But day one is when everything happens. They call them a private launch as opposed to the public launch. So on day one, you want your friends, your family, your fans, people who believe in what you do have to get in on day one, and they have to seed 30% of your campaign. It's so incredibly critical. I cannot say it enough. So we're going to focus on this. And of course, this is very, very simple. You're going to create a contact list of all the people you know. Go ahead and download your email. If you don't know how to do that, I'm going to show you some instructions that you can download to the right of this screen. But just download all of your contacts from Gmail or wherever you keep your contacts. Put them in an Excel spreadsheet and take, a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon, 2 or 3 hours, and go through each one and then pinpoint those who really want to help you. It's really going to make a big difference. I think a lot of times entrepreneurs just think, oh, my friends and family, I'm just going to blast everybody. But you want to be really particular about who you pick. You really want to pick people who are going to really help you out there. And that next list is influencers. Now, these can be people that you haven't even met yet. I met an entrepreneur who's 20-something, very early 20-year-old woman who tweeted Richard Branson, ended up flying to Miami to meet him, and he ended up putting money into her startup, and she just sold her startup last year. So don't be afraid to tweet people. Don't be afraid to contact them on LinkedIn. Don't be afraid to call people. I mean, I am constantly amazed at the people who take my phone calls. You can't be afraid. You want to just go focus on those people who are going to be able to move mountains with one tweet, one Facebook share. I've seen it happen. I've watched it happen. And don't be timid. So you really want to develop relationships with those people. Find people who have, 2 or 3 million Twitter followers, Facebook pages that have 100,000 or so friends or fans on those pages. Start creating that list before you need it, and start following those people on Twitter, following them on Instagram. Say something to them, retweet them. Just make sure that they know that you're there. And next we have the media. Now you're probably already noticing a trend here. I first start talking about friends and family, which is very easy to get to, and then the influencers, which should be a little bit easier, maybe just a tad bit harder. And now we're talking about media. Now this is actually the hardest to get to. But remember, you got to turn it around, and it's not so much that you're pestering the media, it's what can you do for the media? So what do members of the media need? They are in the business of finding compelling stories. So that's your goal. You want to make your story very compelling, right? So you want to go through and just really research all the relevant media outlets. Don't do a spray and pray. A spray and pray, I've done it before. Everyone's guilty. You get lazy, you upload everybody into a MailChimp or some kind of mail service, and you just blast it out. It's just not the kind of impression you want to give. And put yourself in that person's shoes. You're a blogger, you're a journalist, and you're just getting sprayed. It just really doesn't say that you have respect for them and for their work. What you want to do is you want to research each one. Remember, you're going to do this months and months in advance of the actual day that you're going to need them. So go ahead and research these people and find out what they've written about, who they know, maybe even try to get an introduction to these people. And you can use the same techniques that we are using for the influencers, tweeting at them, going on their Facebook page, LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn for contacting the media because immediately they can see who you are, right? If you connect with somebody on LinkedIn, they can go and they can look at your profile and say, wow, this is a great company. I like what they're doing. I want to know them. So don't neglect LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn kind of gets left out a lot in the social media plays. So really do your research, understand who these people are, treat them like human beings, respect them, find out about their work, compliment them on the things that they do really well, and they'll respond better to you. And I always like to say garbage in and garbage out. So if you want to do spray and pray because you're lazy one day, that's fine, just to kind of perhaps update people or something. But when you put garbage in, you get garbage out. So I think it's really, really critical that when you create your media list, that you are contacting people who really do write about your topic, and you approach them as a human being and not just as another PR hit for your company.